Today we're going to talk about the proper way to wrap a cable. This could be an XLR cable, this could be a speaker cable, this could be an instrument cable. Doesn't matter. We have to agree that we're going to learn the right way to do it, and we're going to do it from here on out so that we can take care of these cables, which are not the cheapest cables in the world. They're not the most expensive, but they're not the cheapest. And the reason we learn to wrap them the right way is so that we can make sure that they have a nice long life. Now this is a new cable, and it wasn't wrapped necessarily the right way from the factory, but you can see that the cable is generally free of twists and turns. One thing that you'll notice if you do wrap cables the wrong way, which for example would be just to put it on like this and just to wrap it over and over. So what we would actually be doing is from one end of the cable all the way down to the other, essentially we would be twisting the cable, sort of microscopically, but we would sort of be twisting the cable as we worked our way across. And then by the time you get the cable wrapped and unwrapped a number of times, you're going to find out you've got some kinks in the cable. Maybe it's going to break, maybe it's going to fall apart. At any rate, we're going to talk about the right way to do it so that we can always take care of our cables. It's called over-under cable wrapping. And there are many different ways to do it. I'm going to show you the way that works well for me, and I'm going to show you that way over the shoulder. All right, so take the cable in your non-dominant hand. For me, that's my left hand. I'm a right-handy. I'm going to take it in my left hand, and I'm going to use my right hand to determine basically the size of the wrap. So by the time this is all said and done, I'm going to want it maybe about the size of a, like a little soccer ball. One of those size 3 practice soccer balls that you might see. And we're going to go with what's called the over-under wrap. And essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to repeat a pattern of over and under. What I'm showing you right now, this is just a clockwise movement. This would just be the over wrap part of it. And you can see it's already starting to get a little bit upset with me here. Okay, this is what we're trying not to do, is to get these little twists in there. So let's talk about what it means to over and under wrap. Well, we got to work our cable, and we got to teach it to twist up the right way. And if we go over like that, which is just a clockwise loop, okay, so here it is, just clockwise, then the under portion, we're going to grab just the same amount, but instead of going around again clockwise, we're going to take that hand and we're going to go palm up so that the tail goes to the opposite side, and we're going to kind of basically hand it to our non-dominant hand. So instead of draping it over like that, that's the over, we're going to take about the same length, and we're going to bring that dominant hand on the inside, and we're going to pass it up and over like that. Okay, and then you can always use your hand to sort of work the length of the cable. Now, what we're doing basically is we're causing the cable to sort of go back and forth from that over under, which means that by the time it gets from the end to the end, instead of being sort of gradually twisted as it worked its way across, instead of being gradually basically maimed and malfunctioned as it worked its way across, we're sort of making sure that that cable stays untwisted. So there it is again, that's the under wrap. This is the over wrap. And that under wrap again comes from hand up underneath and passes it to. Okay? Now, as you get better at this, get that last little kink out of there. As you get better at this, just one more time on the under. So I get the right length of cable, and then I take the hand under, tail goes away, set it on top of the hand. Okay? Now, from here on out, whenever we pull this cable out, well, there's going to be a cable on both sides. There's going to be an end of a cable on both sides. And whenever we pull this out, we make sure that we take the end of the cable that's on the side that we're looking at. So in this case, it's this cable right here. And whenever we pull that out, we can just walk away and we can pull that cable out the right way. If we were to accidentally grab this underneath side and try to get it back out that direction, then we kind of end up with a bit of a problem once again. So let me just show you the over-under wrap one more time. We do have little Velcro tails on here that we can just use to wrap around there and hold on to. Okay, but here goes the over-under wrap. Again, non-dominant hand, clockwise. That's over. That's the easy one. Okay, now grab the same length of cable, then go palm up, and then pass it so that the tail is away from you. Notice, because I grabbed the right length of cable, I have the right loop here. Now, some of the advanced techniques that we can get into are the thumb twist that you may have to do as we get it going initially. And you can feel what I mean by that. If you twist between your thumb and your forefinger, you can see that you're sort of training the cable to make that either that over loop or the under loop. And it just depends on the cable, really. It's been my experience that sometimes you have to work out one of those kinks, and you have to work out the twist sometimes towards the end as you initially start the cable training here. There's the over, there's the under. Okay, you can always adjust the length of it a little bit until you get faster at it, and I'll try not to talk. So there was a case where I needed to do just a little bit of a thumb and forefinger twist. Last time on the under, got the right length of cable, because that's the distance from here to here. I'm trying to keep that the same every time. If I wanted to take a 100-foot extension cord, maybe I would stretch it out here and I would have some sort of a giant loop like that. This is just a small cable. You can see it's kind of spreading out as I talk and rap at the same time. But you take that same length of cable and then palm up, pass the tail away from you, set it on top of that hand. Okay? You can adjust a little bit there. Now we're ready to take that Velcro wrap. We'll just use that to hold onto it, keep it from getting too far out of whack there. Actually need to twist one more twist of that Velcro wrap. Keep it from getting too far out of whack, and we can leave that sitting ready to go.